Assalamu alaikum, everybody. I'm doing an encore presentation of the poem I did this morning, as well as another one. I've been writing since I was 8 years old, but since a few years ago, I've been writing specifically about the struggle in Somalia and about my Muslim American identity. I decided to start writing about these topics specifically because they're really dear to me, and I became really conscious of the devastating events that took place in Somalia within the last 2 decades, and I wanted to do something about it. And since Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me the ability to write poems, I decided to do that. This first one is called Wake Up Call, and it's geared toward the Somali youth, specifically in the diaspora. So here goes. We are asleep. We've shut our eyes and fell into the pitiful slumber of the apathetic. Even the cries of our own nation cannot wake us, as if the vast entity of sea is enough to break us. Our ties with our home is shattered, and all of the ideals that once mattered are gone. We are now children of the diaspora, forgetting the strong, beaten woman that birthed our forefathers. We've either run or are running from our birth mother. Dear Africa, we are sorry, but words cannot heal the wounds of our broken nation. They can only soothe the sores of her broken spirit. And although we may see only a helpless situation, hope is still alive if we wish only to hear it. It beats in our hearts, it grows in our souls, it sits in our mind if we wish only to know that the seed of hopelessness should not be allowed to grow. The responsibility rests now on our shoulders, and we are capable of pushing back that boulder called fear. We will be free, and with the daybreak, we will see that tomorrow does not have to look like today, that pain and blood have not left us in disarray, that the children of Somalia have spirit, have say, but only with guidance from our Lord we obey, and only with the strength of generations we make way, and only with the hope that we have we must convey. But with idleness comes apathy, we mustn't stray, and the land of our fathers we mustn't betray, and we won't. Because in our words lie weapons much more potent than guns, and in our hearts lie ideas that when woven and spun create mosaics of hope that shine brighter than the sun. So let us embrace the culture of this land, let us never trade it in, but with swift strides and Somali pride, to the fighting and malice we must put an end. With Somalia Toso, O Canada, and the star-spangled banner, let us wake from this slumber and create change that matters. The second poem that I'll be reciting tonight is called Bereft Song, and this is sort of a sadder one, and it also has to do with the current situation of Somalia. Waking up, the sun shines bright through my window. Clear as a new day, bright as another breath, I am seized by this moment, by this instant, remembering stories my grandmother told about trees and bananas, about camels and poems. I remember when my father told me I was a poet, born from a line of men who told stories, spun words into a colorful thread of gold, and suddenly they lit up the minds of those they told these stories to. These men, whose voices rang through the nation from day to night, rainfall or drought, the voices sailed high. As they spoke, men and women walking by stopped and admired them for a while. But I guess every sunrise comes with a sunset. Remember that Somalia? The green and gold and riches of that Somalia. Remember the marketplace filled with shouts of happiness and laughter. That Somalia. But that was yesterday, and every dream must fade to gray, but in this instant flash to red, and happy endings put to bed. Corruption has taken their place. High in our lives, country in disgrace, we fled, we flew, we ran away. But my brothers, our brothers and sisters were forced to stay. 5 phone calls a day. I need some money. I need some food. I'm starving here. I know you're good, so send me money until I save enough to leave this wretched place. But that wretched place is where I call home, and soon will walk barefoot alone across the world, never really alone, but never, ever in our home. So what are we to do? Running from a country shattered, And all of the ideals we thought mattered gone. We run far from home, and our feet take us to places we don't really know. Mama doesn't understand their confusing words, and their racist stares hurt the most. We move from our country, and now we boast. Where we came from, we must know. Take into account that God only knows. Return to where the children laughed. Educate ourselves and create a solution. The dirt and blood have overtaken disillusion. Remember where our hearts lie and our mind stays. Remember, blue skies never shaded gray. Remember, where the mothers would tend and the children would play. Remember, home.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Naima Dahir, and I will be reading a poem called Hope today. I wrote this poem for Somali Americans in North America, in the diaspora in general, to identify with their Somali, with being Somali and with being Muslim, and to understand that both of these in today's society are kind of frowned upon, but we need to have hope and remember that we need to be proud of our identity and be proud of who we are, and one day we will, be strong and powerful as a community. I can't find peace. I don't know sleep. I shut my eyes, but can't shut my mind. They won't leave me be. The fears, the apprehensions that keep me awake, not to mention hypertension. These words won't go away. See, this world is but a journey to the greatest destination. And these words are but aids to help us, the creation. And we mustn't forget, the Creator is always watching, checking over our shoulders, won't do nothing to distract him. The pressure of tomorrow pushes down on our backs. Until we formed crooked humps, we no longer need a leap of faith, we just need to jump. Because we're weaker, and the speakers now have gone away, and he speaks louder now, the devil now is here to stay. We wonder why they hate on us, why they blame everything on us. Have you pondered why they slander every day? It's because our voice is growing weak, and the faith we vow to keep has been overshadowed by despair, by self-pity. We say it's unfair, but we whisper, we don't declare. So let's raise our voice in unison. Let us raise our voices high. Let us not forget about right and reason. Let us reach to the skies. Because whatever we are missing, we won't find it here, and whatever their ammunition, we have nothing to fear. God has put faith in us, so let us believe. The prophet risked his life for us, so let us not grieve. Tomorrow is not a promise for us, so let us be free. And no matter what the weather, the sun will always shine. And if we are to do this each and every time, then maybe I can sleep. Maybe we won't have to weep. And once we can keep the faith, maybe we'll be calm enough to finally have peace someday.
Okay, anigoo ka duwan yahay gawaygayga marka waa idin salaamay marka hore dhammaantiin waxaan ka cudur daaranayaa I do apologize to those of you who doesn't speak Somali, and my poem will be in Somali. Gabaygan magacayga waxaa la yidhahdaa Mukhtar Ahmed Osman. Gabaygan waxaa gabyaama ihi marka hore, laakiin waxaa igu dhiirigeliyey Professor Ahmed Ismail Samatar maadaama aan buug gabay akhrinayay runtiina uu yahay waxa mar walba aan tusaalaha ka qaato xigmaduna meesha ay ku jirto xaqiiqdii aan aadna ugu dhiirigelin lahaa dhalinyarada Soomaaliyeed haddaadan af Soomaaliga akhrin karin at least isku day xataa inaad turjuntid oo English ku turjuntid si aad u fahamtid waxa ay ka hadlayaan oo raggan oo laga yaabo inay gabayeen xilli laga joogo 70-80 sano laakiin wixii ay maalinta ka gabayeen maanta ay taagan yihiin gabaygan waxaa tiriyay nin la yiraahdo Cali Xuseen waxaa la yiraahdaa magaciisa Fiin wuxuu gabaygan tiriyay xilligii gumaystuhu u haystay Soomaaliya riisaku uu tiriyana wuxuu ahaa markii la qaybsanayay dhulkii Soomaaliya khayraadkii Soomaaliyana qof walba uu qaybtiisa qaadanayay marka wuxuu ka matalayaa dalkii Soomaaliya ayuu wuxuu ka matalayaa Fiin bahasha Fiinta la yiraahdo I think dad badan oo yar inaysan garanaynin laakiin waa bahal sida hudhudkan u malaynaya carabigu inuu yahay professorka uu isaxi kara haddaan qaldanahay laakiin uu u dhow yahay fiin baa la yidhaha af soomaaliga wax kale ma uu garanayo iga raalli ahaada marka fiintii buu la hadlaya okay fiin yahay adaa ololayo oo hin ciirsadaye haddii aan laguu imaanin waad aamusi lahayde maxaad aragtay waan kula qabaa urkutaalladae waxay tidhi ilaahay haddaad garanayso ood islaan tahay idaa waan irdhaysanahaye waxaan idhi qofkii la ehbiyaa wuu ammaan heliye ashahaadada iyo waan aqaan aayadihii nebige ha yeeshee ilmada kaa dhiciyo umulka guudkaaga in yar ii sheeg waxaan rabaa inaan ogaadaaye waxay tidhi inkaar buu ku go'ay odagii soomaale waxaan u malaynaya waa garanaysaan odagii soomaaliyeed inkaar buu ku go'ay waxay ka hadlaysaa dalkii soomaaliyeed awlaaddii uu dhalana waa sida adoogoode dad badan oo waaweyn waxaan u malaynaya inay fahmayaan xaqiiqda wax halkan laga hadlayo hadday ul iyo diirkeed yihiin rag iska eegaya afrikada ma joogeen nimaan aabba ku lahayne ayax kuma dhaleen kaymihii ubaxa weynaaye anna aydii aan joogi jiray kama abraareene waxaan idhi irdihiina laka qaad ood ahaan jiraye waa taa la kala iibsaday oo nala ogeysiine waa taa la kala iibsadoo nala ogeysiine oodaba la goynayaa idhanka laasoode meeshaad ilmaha dhigan lahayd uun kalaa degaye meeshaad ilmaha dhigan lahayd uun kalaa degaye waxay tidhi nin yahow ehelada ma laha iimaane ilaylahe dunida waa ugu liitaane allaylaha dunida waa ugu iliitaane iyagaa ablayda isku sida eebbo xoog badane ayagaa ablayda isku sida oo isku xoog badane intay ayro kala qaadayaan aarsan mahayaane waxaan idhi nintiisaba anfacay agab haddaad moodo umal iyo adoo gaajo qaba oo uu col ku eryaayo haddaad aqal ugu soo gashood magan u soo aaddo ul buu kaaga reebi wixii kaa itaal badane ha ka eegin doqon kaama rido aarku sidee doqon kaama rido aarku sidee waxay tidhi war beenaad waddaa ina xuseenoowe ugaas iyo qabiilnimo kuwii ubaxa ku faanayey abtirsiimadoodii kuwii lagu alhuumayey waa taa albaabkii la yimid agabka noo tiile miyaan maanta afkaadan dhacay amarka loo sheegin waxaan idhi ilaaq bay hayaan edabna la sii waaye afka unbay ka tokhaan sidii ooryahoo kale eh buuntada ardayda haddii aad asal u mooddo adduun baa awaaraha ku lumi oo ilka caydane waxay tidhi ilaahay hadduu duul arrin u diido oo uu iblays gebi ka rido sooma ururaane qalbigii engegay waanadu orod ku dhaafaaye qalbigii angegay waanaduu orod ku dhaafaaye goormaa inkaartaa heshay lagu alhuumaaye waxaan idhi arbiyo laguma ooga geesi aynaba eh iniinaha keliya iyo wadnaha iniga taallay aanada tolkood bowga roon uma ihiye maxaan ararta kaaga daalayaa adagna loo gooyey runtii taasuu ahaa laakiin xaqiiqdii haddaad fahamto waa wax waaqiciga jira yacni sida ay dadku ayaga iskugu xoog badan yihiin soomaalida oysan rabinin inay la tartamaan caalamka kaleeto iyo waxa dunidu maanta horumar ay ku gaartay aadaad u mahadsantihin asalaamu calaykum
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Halima Ahmed. The poem that I'm going to read today is called The Letter That Somalia Would Have Written Had It Been Capable of. Okay. I originally wrote this poem in Urdu and then translated it in English since I first started speaking the English language 3 years ago. And here it goes. Oh, Somalis, how long will you exploit, mistreat, and abuse my land? How long will you fight and decorate my earth with the blood of my people? How long will I ever become unaccustomed to the echoes and the unpleasant sounds of guns? Would I ever see a brighter day, a day where Somalis can ever come together and embrace one another? Will there ever be a leader like Aden Abdullahi Osman, the first president? Do you ever hear the plea of this land? Do you ever feel the plight of my children? Where are your conscious Somalis? My 49th Independence Day is approaching. What is going to be my ceremony? Yet another Somali killed because of tribe. Yet another mother desperate and praying for a way out. Yet another child dying of hunger and thirst. Where are the days where Somali Independence Day was embraced with celebrations, songs, dance, feast, and happy Somalis? Somalis who would wave the flag up high. Somalis who would pride themselves of being Somalis rather than a fraction of some tribe. Somalis who would respect and adhere to the Quran and follow the teachings of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Somalis in the West celebrate this day in lavish venues with music and hilbiya baris, obvious to the fact that the ones back home are still in state of chaos, hunger, and absolute poverty. Somalis, when would you realize that you have preyed on my land like vultures for so long, abused it, disappointed it, exploited it, failed it?
Please, that was fantastic. Please, thank you one more time. While you're here, does anybody have any questions for our poetry writers? And anybody have any questions for our poets? Why they wrote this? What pushed them? Go ahead. What inspired you to write this besides what's going on in our country? That's the question. Anybody want to take it? Just turn the microphone on.
And I think su-aasha waa inaan Soomaali uga jawaaba maadaama uu ahaa gabayga af Soomaali. Are you okay with that? It's English? Okay. Okay, I will say English, but I don't know. I would rather say in Somali because, and really, in Somalis was people who had a very, very good about the poetry. There was a literature. A lot of people with Somalis was writing. And if you look back what they were talking at that time, really that is the time I live right now. I wasn't there that time, but I see what they were talking. It was amazing to me to look many Somalis who was 1920s, 1930s, was wrote a poem. And don't leave at this time. But what they were talking, is now it's happening. So that's what is motivating me, and that's what is really to make me read. So if I need anything to really to have a motivation, I need to go back and listen and read it. Many Somalis like Tima'ade, like Jama' Kediye. There's thousands, I cannot even remember their names, a lot. So that's what is really to make me to read the poem in Somali.
Assalamu alaikum. The reason why I wrote this poem first was I got an invitation. Some of my friends back in India still thought that I was still in India, and they invited me for a Somali Independence Day celebration. And I couldn't help but think that out of those 49 years that we have been free, we have only had a functioning government for 30 years. 19 years we have been killing each other. What is the point of celebrating the plight of and the problems of our people back home? That was the reason why I wrote this poem.
I think that with all the issues that is going on with Somalis today, us, the Somali youth in the diaspora, it's our duty to kind of to fix what our parents and the generation before us couldn't. And the best way to do that is right now to motivate the youth through whatever talent we may have, and poetry, and writing books, anything else that we can do.
I feel the same way about the motivation aspect. I feel like even if I wasn't writing about Somalia and about being a Muslim American, I would be writing. And so I feel like this is a good way for me to channel my abilities.
Very good. Thank you all very much.